3, 2, 1. Hi guys, 732 Review Crew back. I'm Mikey.
I'm Eddie.
I'm Mike.
And this is Fringe Season 1, Episode 18. Now, as we move into the last 3 episodes of this season, I'm pretty excited to be eventually getting on to the second season where everyone says everything starts to have one final, storyline and it follows the same path. So I'm excited for that because I like when my shows have, that narrative keep pushing.
Main storyline now. And like you were saying, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Yeah, the whole end of the last episode where Olivia caused the fire, I think, yeah.
No, I think there was something
So nobody. So for my theory is while I was editing, I messaged these guys that at the end of the last episode, Olivia is, as a child in the testing zone, Olive, and they call her Olive.
Surrounded by scorch marks.
Belle calls her, says, "Oh my God, where's basically I don't remember the name, but the assistant," and then, our boy says, it's okay, But the main thing is that she caused the fire in the lab that killed the assistant is my theory now because of that last scene. It didn't, obviously, on second watch, it was like, I was like, oh God. But the first time I watched it, it didn't click. So I'm excited to see if that comes true because that's a whole level of, peeling
Full
away.
circle.
Yeah. And everything becomes back.
And before I give my other crackpot theory, what did you want to say?
Oh, I'm just waiting for Sasquatch to come out. He has to be in the show. Dude.
Sash Peter.
William Bell is alternate universe Walter.
That's your theory?
That's my crackpot theory.
Did we talk about that on the channel last time?
I don't know any other reason we wouldn't even get a hint of his appearance or existence unless that was the case.
I agree with you. So I don't remember if we talked about this. On channel or off
does
channel?
that make him a clone then?
No. AU.
So he has so he does have immune systems. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. We'll be starting this one in 3.
The media has been blocked from the immediate crime
Here's some
scene, and
murders.
all we've been told is that a body was found mutilated by what might have been a hunting knife.
What?
Police are withholding
That's a big
names.
knife.
It's not the safest neighborhood, but there haven't been
Yeah,
violent
gee.
crimes at this.
Is that a hunting knife?
It is a knife.
It's not a hunting knife.
Hello, beautiful.
Finally, where have you been? Did you get my message?
I did.
But you didn't call me back.
Come on now, you're starting to go down that road again. Before you know it, you'll be all upset. I think this has more to do with the miles between us, all that dreary weather you had in Portland.
Oh, long distance relationship.
I mean, the dude just put condoms in his pocket. He's a scumbag.
This is heavy gaslighting.
Yeah.
I can tell you're my type of girl.
How do you know?
I know these things.
Do you think he's a scumbag or a murderer?
Probably just a scumbag.
Mikey, did you see him?
Man, yeah. Walking around in the background.
I can tell you're my kind of girl.
Oh, her eyes are very blue. I'm scared of her.
She's so
I feel like
tense.
she's the murderer.
Yeah, it's a red herring. His knife isn't a hunting knife. It's a pocket knife.
The most unrealistic part of that scene was that they could speak in a club.
You're not getting that phone call.
Yeah, I mean, those eyes scream
Right.
murderer.
Worth it. Did she eat him?
Ew. Ew.
Oh.
I don't like that.
Is that his throat eating out?
No, I think that was his
Back of the
spine.
neck? Yeah.
I think that was back of the neck.
Then I heard about this program called Two Singles Together.
It's
Two
a
Singles
dating app.
Together was the answer for us.
You guys heard of eHarmony?
Creative name.
I have my own schedule. Works for me. I have no interest in controlling meals either.
I
Oh,
like vacations in the
Oh.
summer.
they're both
I like
single
snow.
but together.
Isn't that just an open relationship?
Yes.
Oh, I already RSVP'd on the class sign-up.
No, that was for Neil's rock climbing party for Graham. My party for Graham is the following Saturday.
Me too, Olivia. Me too.
Ex filing for divorce.
Thought she was single because the way she hit on Peter.
Well,
They were
clearly,
Make me join two singles together.
They really cast her sister pretty good too for someone that looks like her.
His girlfriend.
Walter immediately was like, "Oh, look at that!"
Couldn't reach him.
Bob is done.
Damn, she flew from Portland?
You know what this reminds me of, Peter?
No, but I'm going to guess it's something unbelievably disgusting.
Shrimp cocktail.
I want to know what the significance of his food per episode is.
These appear to be bite marks.
Oh.
You're suggesting that someone chewed his spine out?
Yes, but with a jaw straight.
Ah.
Well in excess of that of a normal lean.
Great, well, maybe we're looking for Dracula.
You Gotta go to the other show we're watching.
Finally, son, you are opening your mind to new possibilities.
If we get vampires before Sasquatch, I'm gonna freak.
What about my mole people?
I can just about remember when a suspect being human was a given, not an option.
This may sound impolitic, sir, but I was wondering if you were satisfied with your divorce attorney. I've heard you talking on the phone to your...
So we get more background. He's divorced.
I was satisfied. Except for the bill.
Makes sense.
Attention to Agent Dunn.
Whole bunch of detectives in a building, dude.
May help us understand why their spinal columns have been completely drained with spinal
Oh!
The killer took the victim's spinal fluid?
Traces of treponema pallidum.
Palladium.
Huh?
The syphilis bacteria. On the victim's neck.
Like he's heavy metal.
Most likely from the killer's saliva.
He has syphilis?
She.
I said the killer.
Oh, I thought you said he.
This particular strain of syphilis is extinct.
Huh?
She is a vampire.
Well, how could the killer be exposed to an extinct strain of syphilis?
See, isn't this fun?
Lubov Pharmaceuticals also procured a sample of a substance called RUD-390.
Which is?
A chemical compound used in the construction of bioweapons.
RUD-390 was one of the components of the rapid skin growth toxin that killed Agent
Oh.
You're saying this is ZFT?
Why? What is their agenda?
That's what we want.
Asking a lot of questions.
He's sketchy.
Symbol in assault squad.
Well,
Nobody's ever innocent in this show. I'm immediately sketched out.
I don't know how I feel about that watch.
Oh. The eyes.
Vampire dog. Saw buzzing.
No.
Federal agents, you're under arrest.
He's like, okay.
How long have you been a follower of ZFT?
What do you know?
Enough to know that they're using the world as a testing ground for experiments. What is doing this?
Are you gonna be cooperative for? It's our first one.
Someone was dosed.
With what?
I know a lot about the things you want. And more. And I'll answer your questions. But you have to help me first. They have my wife. I want you to get her back.
Oh, is it his wife?
That'd be crazy.
Why would they be punishing you?
Because when I realized what my work was being used for, I tried to get out.
I'm sorry, but since I've been working in Fringe Division, 81 people have lost their lives.
Damn.
And that's not including the 147 on Flight 627. Now, in my entire career, only 9 people had died on cases that I worked. This is the closest that we've ever come to getting traction on stopping these people.
The address Boom gave us where he says they're holding his wife, it's a restaurant in Chinatown. They've been tagged by Edison.
Meaning?
They're burning 5 times more power a month than they should making mushu pork.
They've been tagged by Edison. You get that now.
Don't just touch things.
Smell on it.
Hypothesis, would you care to hear it?
Would I ever be able to sleep at night again?
That depends.
Depends on what?
On whether the light is on or not.
That's a good line.
Dunham. Greg wants full custody of Ella.
That the minor's mental and physical well-being
Can't deal with this right now.
Sole custody of
Yeah.
This is just one of those things that you're gonna look back on and you're gonna say, I beat that too.
Can you hear me? I hear you.
She's such a good person.
I gotta go to a meeting.
We got that meeting.
I love him so much. He better never get maggots again, I swear.
He's gonna be pivotal in destroying the bad guys. Even though he's a normal guy. Oh, there's a meta lab. Wow.
Valerie Boone, Fizan Ali.
She speaks Chinese?
Nicholas Boonlap.
Your wife isn't there.
I know that.
Damn.
I need to talk to Agent Dunham.
What? Come on.
In front of you, you should see a row of refrigeration units. Third from the right.
Vaccine.
I see it.
Inside that cooling unit, you'll find a contagion of 5 vials marked XT43. The person who's out there killing has been dosed with this. I need it to make an antidote.
You lied to me?
No.
You were right, it's his wife.
They infected her. That was my punishment for trying to leave ZFT.
Oh, wow.
That's fucked up.
Got a pretty hot wife.
I was thinking that. He's a billionaire or a millionaire. He had a pharmaceutical company, right?
Hey, look, a camera.
Hi. Hello. Us in the park.
Is he gonna notice the eye color? Is that what it was focusing on? My lucky day.
You're burning up.
He was a syphilis fever.
You're my kind of guy.
Ooh.
I'm sorry.
Oh!
She got rows of teeth.
He's a shark.
That's crazy.
That's an awful way to die, too.
You said that you had something I should see.
We found this at Boone's house. You want to pay specific attention to the date.
There we go. Oh my gosh, it looks like you ran in the trash. Yeah.
That video was taken 3 weeks ago, Dr. Boone. Can you explain to me why you're in a wheelchair today?
She needs to feed.
Missed that.
Gave up his final bone marrow.
I began to feed her my own spinal fluid. I tried to synthesize the antidote on my own.
Okay, so he's not a bad guy.
He worked for ZFT.
Not that bad of a guy.
The syphilis was just a platform. Carrier for other attributes, for the same reason they asked me to create the skin growth toxin. To show off.
To whom?
Other scientists.
Are they showing what other scientists what they could do to try to recruit them?
I'll tell you everything I know when you find her. If the cure works, we both win.
I mean, she still killed like 4 people.
He didn't choose to be turned into a human vampire.
Her centrifuge is 20 years old.
25. Oldie but a goodie. I also have a cow.
And just for the record, one mad scientist is my limit.
We never had him.
Another scientist.
Yeah, collaborate. Yeah.
Good news, Peter. Nicholas and I are in agreement about this penicillin.
Just a Tupperware fruit.
We're gonna fight the super syphilis with super penicillin. Syphilis with the platform. If they can kill the syphilis, they can stop the contagion.
Did the same thing once against super pneumonia.
Meaning, if there's a car found stripped in the greater Boston area, I can guarantee you my man Mako has his big toe in it.
Oh, you have a friend who runs a chop shop?
Yeah. You make that sound so illegal.
We're trying to track a killer, Mr. Mako.
No, it's just Mako. You know, like, Cher.
If I tell you where we boosted that car, can we just say that this conversation never happened?
Hypothetically?
Route 18, Weymouth, by the water.
This strain of syphilis raises a body temperature well above normal.
Where did you study, Nicholas?
At the Curie Institute in Paris.
It's an honor to have your intellect in my lab.
Aww.
That's high praise.
Huh.
Because I know very well who you are.
Huh?
That makes one of us.
Or do you believe there is such a thing? The soul.
Oh.
There are days when I wish I did. There are days when I wish I did. Ellie and I often debate this very thing. William Bell, you've heard of him.
No, of course.
We used to share a lab. Quite a fall.
Oh, the comparison.
If there is a soul, we must consider then that there is still time for redemption.
I love that.
Oh, the eyes.
Oh,
No.
watch that. I hate this. I could never be a scientist.
It's just getting medicine. Get cookies.
May I offer you a peak Fringe, a delicious vanilla wafer with raspberry center and lemon.
Sounds like a tart to me.
Doesn't want a cookie.
Fruit tart.
He took one.
Apparently you're wrong.
This one's been drinking. He smells like a brewery. Hey, Peter, will you turn out the lights?
Oh, the
stamps.
Yep.
Right, Peter?
What? You can't. That's not.
He puts lights in.
An entry stamp.
They all have entry stamps. Oh shit.
The autopsies didn't check this.
Same one.
How often do you
Blacklight? They use that.
blacklight your victims?
Oh.
I don't know.
I need more time to make the cure.
Oh.
Please.
Now you're my kind of guy. What is that?
It's a handheld thermal imaging radiometer.
Why does everyone keep saying that?
It tells me if you're hot. So you're definitely hot.
Hey, oh boy.
I'm looking for someone with syphilis.
Okay.
I love him. That's so funny.
He should have said, I'm from the health department, sweetie.
I know what's wrong. The contagion required cerebrospinal fluid as a catalyst, and the cure must require some as well.
Bond the cure to the contagion.
Yes, and the only spinal fluid we know for a fact is compatible is my own.
No.
Could cause a brain hemorrhage.
No, I was very careful to monitor the amount of fluid I removed. Another 25 milliliters should be safe.
Walter, we can't.
We have no other choice.
Holy fuck.
He's gonna die. They're not gonna get information on ZFT.
Prep the table, Agent Farnsworth.
Fuck!
Yep.
Yep.
He doesn't care. He wants to save his life. What a commendable dude.
I get it. But like maybe write down some info first.
Damn.
She hot as hell.
Is he gonna record a message for her?
Oh, did she find a dude?
No, I think she's hiding.
Charlie, no. She did find the dude. You're right.
Valerie Boone? Are you Valerie Boone? It's her! Take her down!
That dude's like, okay.
He's not doing good.
Dr. Boone?
He's hemorrhaging.
You lied to me.
Yeah, he lied.
You let me take too much spinal fluid. How far would you go for someone you love?
Dude, Astrid's on top of her.
So there's like no one else in the world that would have compatible spinal fluid.
It's just,
like,
they know it works.
Well, he was feeding her the spinal fluid from the beginning.
yeah, but like
It's bonded to it already.
And it's
how
made
many
up
types of does everyone have their own individual spinal fluid? Like no way.
Is that what you wanted to try?
Me too.
Everybody should get to do this at least once before they die.
Oh no. Peter.
Mikey, it's not a death flag.
Oh no!
Greg asked Rachel for a divorce, and now he's fighting her for custody.
And I never liked that guy.
You've never met Greg.
Yeah, well, I met your sister, so I know she deserves better.
I thought you were a card-carrying cynic.
Yeah.
I am. World class. But there's an argument to be made that beneath every cynic, there is a frustrated romantic.
Oh! She's trying to get that spinal fluid. Stop the car, Peter.
Brake, Peter, brake.
You don't have to keep driving. Where are you going?
Oh my god.
Oh, he's gonna die.
Walter?
That's crazy. They're changing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Put him in the fucking tank.
He's gone.
On VHS. You love to see it.
But you and I had.
Oh, he did hold it up. There we go.
Held up your end.
Just enough plot.
All right, give me some plot.
But I was able to gather some names, including some I suspect you've already heard of.
No, tell me.
We're about to see one.
No, she's gonna meet her sister to talk about the divorce, and we're not gonna get any more plot. That's what I feel.
I hate that.
I'm gonna pout.
See,
no.
I know it.
Oh no. Okay, I'm back in.
She's gonna tell him the names. That's what she's gonna do.
You mentioned David Robert Jones?
No. He said he'd never heard of him.
Oh.
But he did mention another name that we've heard before. The man who's funding ZFT is William Bell.
Woo! But why?
I mean, we don't know the answer to that question. But I mean, you could have called it from episode 1 that the richest dude in the world was evil.
Well, wait.
Is he evil though? Because ZFT's fight is building an army to fight against another dimension coming to fight them, and they're gonna need weapons of any type.
Wait. I think I talked about like a couple episodes ago that the books ZFT got from wasn't Walter, but an alternate universe Walter, which would line up with your theory that William Bell is alternate universe Walter. So William Bell wrote the book as Walter. I don't fucking know. Something like that.
Well, listen, I think obviously we've suspected William Bell of being the bad guy from the start.
Right.
They've made it obvious.
Yeah.
You might be. He might end up being a good guy prepping.
I have a whole theory about that.
The whole "do the ends justify the means" argument of look at how awful and how many people are dying.
Well, technically, it's only been like 200, 300.
Only been 300 of people died in the most brutal ways I might have ever seen in my life. And if any of these experiments got out of hand, and if it wasn't for Olivia, it could be literally planet ending.
So 2 theories I have. First off, the reason why
they can handle it.
The reason why they're almost out of hand but don't get out of hand is because right now Belle is currently testing Olivia to see if she's able to stop things like this from happening when the other dimension people come, the other universe people come. Or he knows that, I mean, considering the nature of the show, the war against basically the alternate dimension is going to be so, brutal that anything goes, and therefore him funding ZFT was for 2 things. First off, they're doing it to advance science through ways that can only be advanced with outside the laws, which is, unethical experiments and unethical situations. But 2, the scientists said it in this situation, it draws the attention of other scientists in the community who look at what they're doing and say, some of them might actually be on the same page and say, you know what, I wish I could do that, or I have theories about that. And all of a sudden you're recruiting all these mad scientists to your organization who have ways to, fight against the evil, and thus you indoctrinate them with the manuscripts,
That makes sense, because I assume ZFT has reached out to most, renowned scientists that are pushing.
Well, they said they've been doing this stuff for exposure.
Especially if you have limited funding.
So, the skeptics are like, I don't know, shady organization, if I want to join you. They read a news article about ZFT, and they're like, oh, they are doing crazy stuff.
There's no news articles about ZFT.
Right, but they see the results of ZFT.
Yeah, it's like a secret scientist community. But my question boils down to, it's a parallel dimension. So it's another Earth. Why are we going to such lengths? Just shoot each other. We're all humans here. Just shoot each other. Why are we doing this?
Well, you gotta remember that with divergences, that the Earth that's invading this Earth, Universe B invading Universe A, Universe B might have diverted at a different point to the point that they have a completely different weapon system, which is why ZFT is doing what they're doing.
And thus Belle.
Then it wouldn't be parallel.
Because, if you made zombies, guns are only so effective against zombies. You make, superheroes, people are only so... Superman can literally throw tanks.
But then they have the opposite.
See what you're dealing with here? Wherever this divergence is, it's clearly a massive difference in the arms race.
Super
massive dynamic. Yes.
Is
do you know how?
Listen,
do you know why? Because they've showed this with a few of the other people too. For example, the reverse empath. Those type of people that Bell is creating, he's creating soldiers that will sacrifice themselves for the mission, whether they want to or not. Thus, for example, the gentleman in 2 episodes ago that was compelling people with his thoughts to do the things he wanted to do. If you drop that guy in the middle of the alternate universe and none of them have cortexiphan or ways to prevent it, all of a sudden this man that you dropped may be unstable, but he's going to fulfill the mission of basically brainwashing everybody. It's the same thing for the drugs that melt people's faces that they discussed in this episode. You have to test it some way, and I mean, you test it on your own people, that fucking sucks. But all of a sudden, if you're dropping that in, alternate New York, and you kill, 10 million bad people, you don't know they're bad, but I mean, the way they're doing it, it seems like the war is literally going to be us or them. So having basically doomsday scenarios or doomsday weapons is what these people are. And, people like Olivia, who are more inclined to be a continuing operative, because we've seen that she has the power for the fire in the last episode, as well as other power so far with the telekinesis or whatever it is, telepathy. She's going to be a long-standing, whereas some of the other people who weren't able to handle the experimentation are probably going to be more like a grenade that you throw.
Well,
my question is, why don't you just throw a grenade? We have nukes.
Because they might have weapons to stop the grenades.
The only problem here is really that we as a society, I guess we as a race of people, hopefully, but definitely as a society, have decided that randomly dosing unsuspecting citizens is not an ethical or approved way to get lab data.
There's a whole convention in Geneva about this.
ZFT's just not doing what you're supposed to do for lab results, because we agreed you can't just randomly
Like, they showed that you could test this on a mouse. So why is there a lady running around eating people's spines?
That was punishment.
Tested on a dog.
That was punishment.
That was more of a punishment, I think.
Yeah, that was a punishment.
Like a flare.
A punishment for society?
No, for him, he left the ZFT.
I get it, but they could have like kept her in a cell.
That dosing is actually the one that's probably, I don't want to say the most ethical, but more ethical than dosing random people on the street, because at least this is a criminal organization that was like kidnapping someone. So like, not
she killed
allowable.
like 9 random dudes.
No, of course, like that's fine.
Oh,
murders are gonna happen.
It's not her fault. It's not her fault though.
I think it's just like short-sighted also, because like after the war, how do you clean that up? All the stuff that you have running around the planet now, how do you clean that up? You don't. You just screwed over both. No matter who wins, somebody's screwed.
What do you mean? You're like that lady. You got like electric cyborg arms. The zombies can't eat you.
It's a good way to get around zombies. You're not wrong.
Having one robotic arm.
She punched it. So this one was. I like how they kind of probably expand on something that'll be further expanded upon later on, and they've done it in the past. So they modify viruses to be the carrier for certain things. For example, the syphilis, modified syphilis was the carrier for this, genetic change. Is that something they've done in this show before? I think they modified a virus to allow it to do something. The bat.
They've modified everything.
It was a chimera. They modified the bat to be a chimera, as a chimera DNA.
Well, they use a bat's DNA because it's able to hold thousands of different.
Isn't this gene splicing?
Things.
I mean, I guess it is technically gene splicing because you are splicing stuff into bacteria.
Yeah. So we're gonna see a lot more like examples of this probably as we get down the line. And I imagine that
syphilis though.
Well, I mean,
I guess that makes sense because it's contagious without like being randomly contagious.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be contagious, I'm pretty sure.
That wasn't the.
It was just because I think it was just the shape of the molecule or whatever it was.
They were saying syphilis was like not a carrier, like a bonding.
It bonds
some science.
The way the modification bonds to the syphilis was like because think about it.
It's like let the virus survive.
Viruses and bacteria and stuff, because the way they're designed is that they have different shapes for the viruses. Syphilis viruses are a certain shape. Common cold viruses, different shape, and the way they fit into reactors and stuff causes reactions. In the body, receptors. I'm sorry, not reactors. But what happens is,
you want to tell us something, Mike?
No. But what happens is if you're creating a specific protein that alternates or changes the body a certain way, it's easier to find a random virus that fits into the chain than probably to make it to fit the virus, because you have to have it coded a certain way and the molecule designed a certain way to interact. So that's the only reason why I could think of that.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm just losing the bigger picture, dude. Like, I guess because we don't really know what the enemy is yet. Like,
are they just humans?
Are they crazy? Well, we don't.
What is
William Bell sympathizer number 1 over here, who's like, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
But
he's killed children.
Did he?
And people. Yeah, he's a terrible person. He's an awful person.
For the greater good.
Well, no, that kind of thing is why bad people exist.
I actually really enjoyed that they had the scientist conversation this episode, because that is like the big thing with Walter is he is just like an amoral scientist looking for knowledge, and having another person who is trying to seek redemption allowed him to like have that empathetic moment where they talked about like, do you believe in the soul? And it's like, some days I do, some days I don't. And like the significance of them actually, the days that he does, wishing it didn't because of the crimes he's committed, and vice versa. So it was really nice to finally see that, because Walter is on a path to redemption, but we haven't had like the monologue of it.
You have like the one person who realizes they've done bad things, and then the other person who was like full sail, we're gonna just keep doing worse and worse things. Like, they experimented on children. Like, they're not good people.
They did not follow any ethic courses.
This is for the survival of their universe. They don't care about what they have to do with survival. That's the entire what the woman said in the first episode. I'm forgetting her name.
I mean, there's a huge ethical debate on like, when you come out the other side, was it worth it?
Well, yeah, but that's the whole thing.
I mean, that's really answerable by history, and it's, did you win?
Well, yeah, exactly. Is it worth surviving if everybody gets nuked? Like, technically, 10 people can survive and all the other people die. Is it worth
Well, it's more like, is it okay to like exile entire parts of the world to save the rest of the world. Like,
he made a good point.
That really just comes down to a history book on who's right there.
Well, he made a point though, like, you know, at what cost do you win? Like, do we win this war and all of a sudden, like, you know, you have like super mutant
ravaged monsters are running around? Like, is that a world even worth saving? Like, why don't just die at that point?
The problem that comes up from that is once you've begun your unethical answer to an apocalypse, if the apocalypse doesn't show up, you're kind of fucked. Which means you kind of need the apocalypse to happen to be justified.
That's fair.
Which then makes you a proponent of the apocalypse.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I think
it's
we definitely a no-win scenario.
I think this is like
but again, I need more information on what we're fighting against. What this parallel dimension is, what they want. So, like, as we keep going, I'm like excited to learn more about that.
I bet
it's obvious that William Bell was leading the opposite side. I think like that's extremely obvious.
We were sus of him from literally episode 1.
And I think
I mean, he worked with Walter. Walter went to an institution. He became the richest man in the world. Not a good person.
If Walter had not gone to the institution and became the richest man in the world, we know what would have happened.
And he's completely missing. Like,
he's leading ZFT out in the shadows.
Like, yeah.
It's gonna be crazy if David is actually Walter. I'm sorry, not Walter. David is actually William Bell, the guy that
David,
the guy for the German guy, the German one.
David.
His name's David.
David.
No way, his name's David.
The one that teleported?
Yeah.
Nah, because he would have made his own teleportation device. He was William Bell. He wouldn't have used
unless
the guy who turned himself into the Hulk.
Yeah,
that's not William Bell.
Definitely not William Bell.
Okay, that's my thought. I don't have anything else to add. I mean, obviously, I'm excited to finish the season. The season, I think, is where we're gonna get the biggest reveal about what's going on at the end of the season. So that way, next season is basically full throttle. So to find out.
I'm hoping.
Yeah,
I think it's definitely been good, and they're playing on some good debate points, like as we're going back and forth on like ethical debates.
Exactly.
Like, I think that's great.
And it's probably a very good, you know, it's very just interesting to think about. Nina Sharp, yeah. She basically said that, you know, technology and research science is outpacing laws
she 100%
and regulations.
higher up in ZFT. I don't care. You can literally tell me, they could say on screen she is not, I still don't believe it.
Don't believe anything you hear. Thank you for joining us, though. I'm Mikey.
I'm Eddie.
I'm Mike.
And this is wrapping up the episode discussion of Fringe. If you did enjoy it, check out Patreon for full lengths of this series and other ones, as well as subscribe if you haven't already. And we will see you next time. Bye.